Yay, I'm live. Control C. Come on in, everybody, and play some ukulele. Delete. Control V. Link. 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 Edit. Open a new window. Update. And update. And now we should see a rush of folks. Hey, everybody. Hi, Laurel. Let me know if the sound is okay. And glad you're here. Hi, everybody else. Please let me know if the sound is working fine for you. And let's see. What else do I got going on here today? Sound is good. Yeah, that's all we need to hear, right? You can always tell the video is working okay, but it's always the sound that's the issue. Let's get this. We have a. It's always crazy trying to get this thing set up just so. Okay. How's that? Hi, Linda. Glad the sound is working for you. Trying to have this be more in that direction. Still have tried to get all the chords out of the way from all these previous lessons. Want it to look pretty. I don't think it matters. All right, let's see. This is wanting to fall over, so let's make this change. Too close to the wall. We'll get it, peeps. We'll get it. How about that? That'll work. Who's logging in here? Let's see. Kari, welcome. Yay, glad you're here. Hey, Jerry, glad you're here. Danny made it back finally. Jeez, Danny, we were barely struggling, barely making it without you. Bruce, welcome. Let's see. So far, so good on the sound. That's all we can hope for, right? Hey, Becky, welcome. Okay, my goodness, everybody. Jerry, welcome. Come on in. Got your new strings on. Bruce, you will be out of tune for the entire day today. So, but it's good. Or you just got them in. You didn't get them on. In or on? I think it looks like you said in. Hi, Fran. Welcome. HTH, glad you made it back. So delighted you're here. HTH, where I may have to put a real human name to you, but I think in the meantime, HTH is kind of fun. Let's see. Susan, welcome. Delighted you're here. Chris, glad you came back. Thanks for being here. Hey, Red, what's going on? Hi, Sue. Made it back again. Manette, glad you're here. Hi, Carol. Oh, they are on, and you've tuned 10 times. Yeah. So plan on tuning about 99 more times, and then they will finally sound half as good as your old ones. So, yeah, new strings are obviously a mixed blessing. It sounds better right away, but my goodness, sometimes it's like, geez, Louise, what's going on? Why is my ukulele so wildly out of tune? Let's see. Leslie. Keeps pulling up your college course. Well, maybe we should take your college course. That's probably what we got to do, Leslie. All right, Leslie. I will try to remember HTH means Leslie. Well, hi, everybody. My Spaghetti Monster and more Bach today, I think, right? More Christian Petzold, and so we'll be knocking that out today. Let's see. Some of the people come in late because they know we're working on the easier stuff right off the bat, which is fine. We don't like them anyway, right? We just want us. Let's make sure that I'm in tune and you're in tune. Find a tuner. We've talked about this before, right? This is the tuner you want to own. Snark, something or other. Super tight HZ. I don't remember the exact number of it. I think it's ST8Z or something like that. Um, the little cheapy ukulele tuners that they sell with your package, those are not the ones you want. You want to pay for top of the line tuner. You're going to be tuning a lot in your life when you're a ukulele player, so spend some time getting a good one. That doesn't take any time. Spend some money. Knock out that $18. Let's see who else is logging in here. Barbara, welcome back. One more day of fun. Joyce, hello. Joyce, we had to just shut the place down. You weren't here yesterday, so we're delighted you're here. Puppy's doing well. That's exciting. Hi, Jackie. Welcome back. Renee, good to see you. All right, let's talk about tuning. Double check your tuning. Here's my G string. Here's my C string. My E string. Hi, Linda. And my A string. Okay, so hopefully you're pretty close to me. I think when you are at home and you're tuning your thing and you get kind of stuck on all that the tuners, everything, but and it is. But when you get together, you always want to take that last minute and turn the tuners off and then double check you're tuned up with each other. It's always little minor differences between tunings, tuning forks, tuning machinery, and all this stuff. And so you want to tune with each other when you get together. If you have a small group of people or even a large group of people, we always tune the orchestra up. I don't know if it serves any purpose or not, but I feel like that it helps us all get better at listening to what our ukuleles are saying and listening to sound. Getting our ear training it's one of those things I think most ukulele players neglect. We just count on that little doodad to hook on the end of our ukuleles to be right. And mostly they're okay. They're certainly much better than most of our natural pitches. But when we are ready to play as an ensemble, we really want to all be tuned as close to the same as possible. That's why every symphony you ever go to, they tune up the orchestra. And those guys know their pitches. They know what they're supposed to sound like, but they double check. And ukulele players could do themselves a favor by double checking that as well. Ear training, I tune probably 40 ukuleles a day, maybe more, some days less, but lots of days, dozens. And I'm pretty good at hearing the pitches and knowing about where it's supposed to be, but I still rely on the tools I have available, my tuners and other players I'm working with and all this stuff. I just think that there's a notion that there's perfect pitch out there, and I do think there probably are a few people who have perfect pitch, but I don't think it's very many. So take your time to tune up properly. Let's see who else is snuck in here. Hi, Linda, Sue, welcome. I think I might already said hi to you, and then Linda, Lanny, you made it in. All right, excellent. So we got everybody who's important in the ukulele business here right now, and that's what we want to do. So let's get into the lesson. The thing we're working on today is Spaghetti Monster, and then we're going to work on Minuet Part 3. So the first part is, if you are newer, this is where we get from playing. When you come into ukulele, you generally come in from Amazon, and then somebody shows you a C chord, an F chord, and a G chord, and that's where you stop. And I know lots and lots of ukulele players that's exactly what they can do after years of studying this instrument. And that's because they're not really studying it, right? You're studying it. You're here to make sure that you are playing this at that next level, the level where instrumentalists get to. And what I want to talk about is on Spaghetti Monster, the reason you want to have this song is you're going to end up sounding amazing here in about 15 minutes. And you're going to have a song that makes you sound really legit. And whether you choose to sing or not is not going to matter at all. When we assume that all ukulele songs have to be sung, it just eliminates about 80% of people interested in this instrument. They're just not going to sing. And so we want to have a methodology where we can sing. where we can not sing and then just let the ukulele do the work for us. The other thing about that system is once we understand just playing the melody line instead of singing the melody line, and we already know how to do chords, then all of a sudden we are in a situation where we can play both sides of the piano. We're playing the melody, we're adding in our chords, we've got this full, complete sound coming out of the ukulele. And then if we get all of that beauty going on all at once, then we decide, yeah, maybe I will sing these goofy lyrics, and you will end up with a complete package. I notice when our advanced groups get together, all of those players can play like nobody's business, and a few of them still like to sing on top of that. And that's what playing in this particular style is nice. You can do everything, and whether you sing or not doesn't matter. All right, let's go through. The first thing I would normally do is go through and check the chords, but on this song, I want you to skip the chords. You should know I wrote this song years before I started teaching for a completely different reason, and then when I started teaching, I'm like, oh, well, this thing sounds really nice, and you don't have to know that much to know how to play it, okay? So the first thing I do, when I look at those chords, the first thing I see is the first chord is a C major, 0003. That's going to be one chord that we play, and that's the C major. When we talk about C chord, that's the one we're talking C major. The next one is a C major 7th, which is your 2. Okay, and that's listen how cool that chord is, by the way. Isn't that pretty? You won't find that in. It's a jazz chord. You're not supposed to get a hold of a jazz chord until you're an old guy in your 60s, right? That's beautiful. Next chord on there is a C6, 0000, the Hawaiian chord. Don't run into a ton of 6th chords in real life, but you do pretty regularly in Hawaiian music because of the ukulele. It's tuned to a C6. No, you will also find as you're wandering the internet, so they also occasionally call that an A minor 7th, and there are musical theory reasons why sometimes it's an A minor 7th and sometimes it's a C6. For the most part, you can flush that. It doesn't really matter what we call the sounds, unless you're an academic, and then it matters a lot. But for the most part, hopefully the person writing the sheet music out will know the difference between an A minor 7th and a C6. I have to let the cat out. Hold on a second. He's going to lose his mind here. Sorry about that. I thought he was already out of the room, and he was in here, and it was going to turn into a fiasco here pretty quick. His name is Henry, and like every cat, he's in charge around here, and I'm his servant. So, all right, C6. And then you have one other chord in this song, and it's G/C. And what that means is that you're having a G chord, which would be like this. This is your G chord. But instead of having this note, we're going to leave that string open. And so we're going to end up with just this one finger on here. And when we strum down, we're going to, instead of hitting a D like we would normally on a G chord, we're going to hit a C. So it's a C in the bass. What's interesting about this, the thing that's interesting about this is you've got this G note and then a C note and then another G note to play that particular chord. And in heavy metal rock, that's called a power chord. And what we do in that type of playing is a C chord is a C, an E, and a G, right? We would just get rid of the E chord, and then we have C's and G's, and now that's a power chord. Same thing is true with a G chord, is G, B, and D. Well, if we take this D and get rid of it, then we just have, and change it to a C in the bass, we have that same rock power chord. Now we have the same exact chord for two different uses, and I don't know, maybe that's why they call it a power chord. The real reason I think they call it a power chord is when you play something like that and you have an amplifier, it sounds amazing because you get the first and the fifth of the chord just ringing out, just blowing through that speaker and really making a lot of cool noise. And they're very useful when you want to make a lot of racket. So, what are the numbers directly under the words? What are the numbers directly under the words? What are the? Oh, that's. I believe that's. You know what? I didn't print out the most recent version of it. Let me find out. Unfortunately, I memorized it a long time ago. So let me see. Let me figure out what is the numbers under the words. Hold on. Let me look a few page. What did I put under the words? Oh, that's a harmonica line. Sorry, guys. Yeah, that's for your C harmonica. You can go grab any harmonica, and that's your harmonica tab. I should have written that on there. So yeah, you can play this with harmonica. You shouldn't. No, you should. It's actually a lovely instrument. Okay, let's play the song. We're going to go very slow. If you were here yesterday, we learned yesterday, the day before, I don't know, all this week, we've been learning how to read tablature. I want you to play with me on this one. For those of you guys who've been around a while, you should be able to play this with you without really thinking very hard. And what you're really thinking about is, how would I teach this piece of music? And so the first measure is 0 on the third string, 0 on the second string, third string, second string, and then we're going to hit this 3. Okay, and don't play the tough uke line yet. Let's just play the regular melody line that's on there. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 1. Ugh, I'm having a hard time getting my head straight. Let's try again from the top. 4 beats in, and we'll play just 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open, 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 3, 3. Next 2 measures are almost the same, except instead of playing the 3, you're going to play the 2. So go ahead and put your middle finger on there, and then play. Open, 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 2, 2. And then the next one's really easy, right? All opens. Open, 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 open. You're going to come to this 2, 2. Going to come to this 3, 3. Then you're going to do a little bunny hop. This is, I got my cursor in the way. We're going to do a little bunny hop from the first string to the second string and play that note. Okay, so let's put that whole line together, those first 8 measures, and we're going to play it a little bit slower than I want you to, but the goal is to play it smoothly, right? So we want it to be smooth. We want it to feel good. We want that spaghetti monster to just come alive. 1, 2, ready, play. Oh, 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 3, 3. Oh, 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 2, 2. Oh, 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 2, 3, 3. Okay. Now, tablature players, we are notorious for letting whole notes turn into 3-beat notes and letting half notes turn into 1.5-beat notes. We want to make sure when you have these longer notes that you really let them ring out for the full amount of time. And otherwise we're jipping those notes, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure each of those is very correct count on every single thing we do. And in this case, when you get to that note, bong, you want to make sure you let that go for the full 4 beats. Okay. Now we get into a little bit more complicated playing. I'm going to kind of move this up a little bit closer to the screen. So if you need to go back and check the video later on to make sure you're doing it right, I'm going to try to get this nice and straight. We're going to do we're moving on to a measure 9. Sorry. I'm going to do a 1, O, 2, O, and then back to that 3, 3, 3. Next 2 measures are identical. 1, O, 2, O, 3, 3. And then a minor modification here is 1, O, 2, 2, 3, 3. Let's do that last 2 measures one more time. Start with the 1. Ready, go. 1, O, 2, 3, 3. Okay. we're going to play the whole melody top to bottom. You guys are sounding amazing from where I sit, and so I feel really excited about getting through all the way through the whole song. We're going to start at the top. We're going to play slower than I want you to. Okay. And if that's too fast, that means that you are absolutely where you need to be. You'll be like, okay, now I know what I got to work on. I want to play at the speed that everybody else was playing. And we're going to go a tiny bit on the slow side to hopefully hold everybody together. 1, 2, ready, play. Let's not play the way I'm playing. Let's start at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 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 oh. 3, 3. Oh, 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 oh. 2, 2. Oh, 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 oh. 2, 3, 3, 2, 3, 4. 1, oh, 2, oh, 3, 3. 1, oh, 2, oh, 3, 3. 1, oh, 2, 3, 3. Okay, so the melody is actually quite pleasant. There's nothing that's jarring in the melody. It's all arranged very, very straightforward, so that you should sound like you got a decent melody. Now, you don't know this song, and there's a reason why I like you to play a song right off the bat early on in your ukulele career that you don't know, because you're really relying on the sheet music there to give you the information. Hopefully you're using your resources on the website. There's an MP3 of this, and I'm in my own YouTube channel. There's down there somewhere, there's me playing a banjo-lele with wearing a hat, and I'm playing this song. So you have some resources to help you learn what this song is. And I think by using all of those resources, you get to create something out of nothing. And that's what musicians do. And we love that whole process of we're doing something we don't have to do. But man, for some reason, it's really important to us to get it done. And I want, generally speaking, for you to have one song that other people don't know what it is. So when they say, hey, play me something, you play this song because it's going to make you sound amazing, and they can't sing along with you. Back when I was learning piano and I would play a song, somebody would come and try to sing along with me, and that just messed me up. So I want you to have a song that they can't sing along to. Nobody knows this song. Okay. All right. Now let's make it a chord melody arrangement. Go down to your tough uke line. What you will notice on that tough uke line, every single time that we're going to strum down, it's all zeros, right? So we figured out we like zeros, okay? So instead of just plucking the 3, now you're just going to strum the 3, okay? So look at that tough uke line. We're going to go real slow. I'll talk you through it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 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 oh. Strum, strum, switch to the 2. Oh, 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 strum, strum. Oh, 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 strum, strum. 2, 3, bunny hop. 3, make sure your thumb is resting on that first string. Let's keep going. 1, oh, 2, oh, strum, strum. 1, oh, 2, oh, strum, strum. 1, oh, 2, 3. Big strum here. Okay. Sounds really pretty. You've got a song now that is chords and melody put together, and whether you choose to sing the song or not is now not important. If you want to, and you're a nice singer, and you really need to talk about a flying spaghetti monster going through the rainbows with your heart, you've got something that can be really touching for people around you. But if not, just play the melody and the chords together, and you got a really nice tune. If I was new and I was thinking I got to have something to play when I go to the ukulele ukulele store. So when I'm testing out all the ukuleles, I want to play something. I would memorize this song because it makes every ukulele sound really nice. Makes you sound like you know what you're doing. And you play it a few times, find your ukulele, walk out of the shop, and then they're stuck with that tune in their head all day, and they don't know where the heck it came from. So let's see. Oh, hey, Patty. Hi, Diane. Welcome. All right, let's play it through one more time, a little bit faster. If you are a next level player, you are thinking about thumb, index, strum, or maybe index, middle, strum, or you can strum like Segovia, strum, index, middle, index, index. Okay, all of those are legit ways to make your ukulele sound out, and you just decide what's going to work the best for you. Let's give it a try. I'm going to use my thumb because I believe in my thumb. Okay, from the top, a little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, play. My spaghetti monster playing ukulele, flying through the rainbows with my heart. Tasty marinara, yummy parmesan, we're pastafarians. Don't let up on your chord until the ukulele finishes ringing all the way out. Then you can take your chord off and you can accept the thunderous applause from your audience, and it'll come, I promise. Every single time I play this, people just go gaga for the thing. So there's your first legit chord melody piece. Tomorrow, I think, if I remember right, we go into Three Blind Mice next, and we're going to do another practice session with putting chords and melody together. And we use C chord a lot when we're learning this process, so that you can get kind of comfy with the idea. And then, of course, we throw all of the kitchen sink at you with all the other chords. And that's when you become a really fine instrumentalist in terms of putting all of the pieces together. So, Danny, question, as always, thanks. Oh, he's got another conference. Everybody's ending up with all these conference calls now because we're doing everything this way now. So, well, we're retooling our society. All right. If you have any thoughts, comments, questions on that, the text box is over here. And I think, like I say, I wrote that song not intending to ever teach it, but it is one of those songs that makes you sound really good without actually knowing a whole lot of stuff. And the ukulele really, it's a very pleasant sounding song. And when you get that complex chord structure of majors and major sevenths, sixth chords, and some rock power chords mixed in there, you're actually playing a fairly sophisticated song. It just happens to be all zeros, and that's why I like teaching that song. By the way, if you don't know about the Spaghetti Monster, it's a relatively amusing Google. So just type in Spaghetti Monster and you'll see what comes up. It's entertaining. All right. Let's get started on the hard stuff. What time is it? We're 4:56, exactly perfectly in time. Again, if you guys are, if those of you who are newer, if it's like, oh my gosh, that's a lot, send me an email. Really, don't be shy about it. This is a hard thing that we're asking, that we're doing, is converting you to an instrumental ukuleleist. And some of this will make perfect sense to you, and some of it will be like, I have no idea what that guy is talking about. And so try to get it clarified. Send me an email. That's perfectly fine. I'm just sitting around the house doing nothing anyway. So, all right. Christian Piesold, part 3. One of you guys sent me an email, and then the email, I think I deleted it or something. I saw it come through, and then I never actually responded to it. Do these pieces go in order? And the answer is yes. Yes, they do. So part 1 will ultimately end up being followed by part 2, which will ultimately be followed by part 3. And then tomorrow we're going to go into part 4. And then we'll take Saturday off. And then Sunday, we'll put the whole shebang together. Okay? So on Sunday, by Sunday, you want to have the whole thing put together in this amazing, beautiful piece. And hey, Viggy, glad you finally made it. Hi, Melody, welcome in. Bob made it in too, back from our minuet. You wrote a pandemic song today. Is that a good thing? I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. I'm going to be working to try to forget this time in our society. Let's go into Minuet Part 3. Hopefully, as you're working this week, you're reviewing number 1, then you're reviewing number 2, and now you're going to be working on number 3. But you're playing it at your level. You are not required at all to play the tough uke line. If that's too hard, don't play that. Don't, just put it off for right now. If you have a friend and they know just their chords, this is a great opportunity for you guys to play a duet. I've been working at I've tried all the other platforms for about playing instrumentally together, and it doesn't appear that it's possible. But you can at least talk about stuff over the internet, get people set up with, hey, you need to know your chords, and we're going to play this when we finally have a chance to get together. It's also allowed to, if you sit a certain distance apart from one another, to play duets, I think. So yeah, that's it. So let's play Minuet Part 3. We'll go over the chords in a minute. I just want to play through the melody first. The chords here are not brutal, but they are next level type chords, not the type of chords that you will be running into on at most drum-alongs. And so we are going to talk about them in a minute. But first, let's just go through, play the melody, make sure that, hi, Kathy, make sure that everything is making sense to you and that the tone makes sense. And then we'll go through and we'll talk about fingering choices. Now, what I know about this is when I get to measure 4, all of a sudden I'm pretty far up the fretboard. I've got 5s, and then I also have this darn 3 and this 1. Well, so measure 4, I'm probably going to stay in first position and have my pinky go up and grab those 5s. But at measure 5, now I've got 6s and 8s, right? So I may find myself switching up to here to 5th position. Then I got 6, 7, and 8 covered with my fingers, and I've got that area covered. Okay. I don't think there's anything else to talk about in terms of positioning, but when you get to measure 5, you may want to go grab the 5th fret. That gives you 6 and 8 with your middle and pinky fingers. Again, it's not written in stone what the smartest answer is. Some of you may find going to 4th position. May find putting your index finger on 6 and then your ring finger on 8 is more convenient for you. It's, again, not written in stone how the best way to do this is, but generally speaking, you want to have some kind of strategy for when that melody starts riding up the neck, that you're going to know what you intend to do. I think I'm going to do index finger on 5. That gets my 6 and my 8. 6 and my 8, and then as I'm coming back down, I also have that 5 covered, and so I'm only going to have to move when I get to the 3 in that measure. All the other measures, I think you can play more or less from first position. There is a 6 that shows up in measure 6, but I'm probably going to reach for that, and I think that's about it, right? So let's see what we do. Okay, I'm going to go crazy slow at first just to get a sense of what's going on here. And remember, your first 2 measures are quarter notes, so they're half the speed of the majority of the rest of the measures. In other words, the quarter notes, you want to take those nice and steady and at a slow pace, because measure 3, things are going to pick up speed-wise quite a bit. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, 0, 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, 0, 6, 8, 6, 5, 3, 5, 6, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 0, 5, 3, 1, 0, 1, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, 0, 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, 0, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 0, 1, 1 to the top. 1, oh, 3, oh, 2, 2, 3, 3, oh, 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, oh, 6, 8, 6, 5, 3, 5, 6, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, oh, 5, 3, 1, oh, 1, oh, 3, oh, 2, 2, 3, 3, oh, 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, oh, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, oh, 2, 3, oh, second ending. How'd we do? I got about 80%. What do you think? Hey, Mike, welcome in. Oh, hey, Bert. All right. So we're thinking about whether that went well or didn't go well, and places where when we are playing like that and you're just playing through the whole song from top to bottom and you're crashing along the way, right? Hopefully not. Hopefully you got your perfect player and you never ever have to deal with mistakes. But if you're crashing in certain places, you don't need to practice the whole song. You got to go fix those specific places, right? So, for example, when I had a long discussion about measure 5, and the very first thing I did the first time through was blow measure 5. So I'm probably going to go back tonight, spend a little bit of time digging into that, what leads up to measure 5 and what leads away from measure 5, to make sure that I'm feeling comfortable about all of that. And I find that type of practice schedule, that practice approach is, don't play the whole darn thing. Play through it a few times until you know where you're consistently crashing, and then work on those areas. Crashing is not a mistake. Crashing is telling you exactly where to put your energy. The other place I messed up, I don't know if I messed up necessarily, but I got really poor tone when I got down to measure 13, that F there. I just couldn't get good clean tone both times I came around through. It didn't sound like I wanted it to. So the first thing I'd be checking is, am I in tune? And then the next thing I'd be thinking about is, all right, I've got that 0 before that. I want to just make sure to really get that good and clean on that 1, because that's a quarter note that tends to stand out when we got so many other eighth notes. So I found my rough spots. Not too many though. Yay, that's good, Joyce. Yeah, looking for your rough spots. Now, if the whole entire thing is rough, the whole, like from top to bottom, is just a very miserable experience. You know what you're doing? You're playing too fast, right? Slow it down, cut it down by 30%, and then go back in and give it another shot. Measure 4 equals measure 12. Measure 4 by 3 equals measure 12. 5, 3. No, there is a difference there, right? You'll see it, the next to the last note in measure 12, one of them is a B natural. Okay, that's the 2. And then in measure 4, it's a B flat. Okay, so that's why it's a 1. Looks kind of the same, but the natural and the flat make a big difference. You'll see that a lot in classical music where it's supposed to be a B flat, but the composer says, nah, I'm going to toss in an F. I'm going to toss in a regular B. Yeah, it makes it interesting, right? So you'll see that quite a bit, Red. Great question. Sometimes it might be me arranging it incorrectly, but in this case, it is correct. All right, let's go through then and play it one more time through, just like we did. Give you a sense of where your places are that you're working. And do note, when we go from the major part of the part 1 and part 2 are in major, and part 3 and part 4 are in minor, and all of a sudden all these new chords creep up because you switch from major to minor, and that's at least initially a bit disconcerting, because you're like, gosh, I'm playing the same song, but now I got all these new weird chords. That happens. That's how it works. And so when you're playing in G, you have 1 sharp, and then when you go to G minor, you have 2 flats. And so all of a sudden, lots of things start moving around on you on the keyboard. Don't be sharp. Ah ha ha. Good job, Mike. Little musician humor over here. Don't be sharp. Just see your way to the end. Let's go through it one more time. Play the melody one more time. Again, this part of the song, especially if you're not, if you didn't take piano lessons, this part of the song is way less famous than the other part of the song, parts 1 and part 2. So the chances of you having heard this is less than the other two parts. So that again is why that MP3 player comes into use. By the way, those of you guys with cell phones, which is all of you, you can download these MP3s into your phone and then use an app, a tempo slowing app, to play them slower, and it keeps the pitch the same. And if any of you need I should probably just post that on the website. I'll try to post that on the website of how to slow these songs down. So if you are playing along with the MP3 while we're stuck here at home, you can't go play with other people as easily. So you may want to get comfy playing with an app like that. And I don't like playing with a metronome. I find it very demoralizing, but I don't mind necessarily playing along with the actual MP3, which is exactly a metronome, but it just seems a lot more friendly and a lot less painful to do. And so I'll download an MP3 and then slow it down when I'm first starting. Slow it way down if you have to, so that you can get a sense of where your fingering is going to show up. Okay. The other thing I would probably, the academics in the room are probably waiting for this moment when I say this scary phrase. Bach, and this is not actually written by Bach, but in that time period, playing counterpoint was a very popular thing where there are two melodies running through all of this. And really what we do on ukulele is we would love to be able to maintain that two melody program, but it doesn't always work out. We just don't have enough room on the fretboard to fit everything in. And so what we're really focusing in on here is getting the main melody good and clear and beautiful. And then we're going to hope that the chords, when we add those in there, give it enough of a mysteriousness, a little extra oomph to make up for the lack of counterpoint on this particular arrangement. I do see some ukulele players tend to be baritone players going after old lute music where they will really preserve that counterpoint in there. It's a fascinating way to play the ukulele, but not necessarily the most fun. And so know that there is another level here, but what we're really working on with this arrangement is, hey, I just want the melody to sound beautiful. I want it to sound like what I would expect when I'm listening to that tune, and then we're going to add in the chords to make them feel a little bit fuller. Bach would not have put chords down like this. Yeah, he might have done it, but not on a song like this. He's like to have, different stuff going on with both hands, where we only have this little space to make all the music, and I think it's going to sound great when we get there. So let's go through and play the melody twice through again, just to get you comfortable, and then we'll go back, and then we'll go in and dial in that tough uke. My big meandering discussion there was really ultimately to talk about that B flat at the end. Okay, some of you are B flat haters, right? Two strings, middle, ring. I prefer it if you use a full bar, but you have to decide which is your thing. When you are working on B flat in ukulele, when you are new, and frankly, when you've been playing a while, is this sound. You're going to hear that sound a lot. Have you ever heard that? You ever had make that sound happen? That isn't a mistake. That is how you're playing the B flat right now. That is your method for playing B flat. You're getting your bar on. You're getting your two fingers where they're supposed to be. Do the best you can. What I know for sure, without any doubt, is that problem goes away. If you'll keep playing, that problem will go away, and you will never have to worry or think about it again. Right now, when you're new and you're fighting B flat, you have to deal with it. And you can either lose your mind, oh, I'm the worst player ever, or you can accept the fact that your B flat sounds like that. Okay, I would recommend the latter. It will come in. You just got to have a little bit stronger muscle right there, and it comes in. Okay, a little bit better technique. Make sure you're holding it correctly. Make sure your thumb is correct. All of those things help to make B flat come along. Ready? From the top, just the melody line again. 1, 2, 3. 1, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 3. 6, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 0, 5, 3, 1, 0, 1, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, 0, 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, 0, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 0, strum, 1, 1, 1, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, 0, 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 1, 0, 6, 8, 6, 5, 3, 5, 6, 5, 3, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1, 3, 0, 5, 3, 1, 0, 1, 0, 3, 0, 2, 2, 3, 3, 0, 1, 3, 5, 5, 3, 2, 0, 1, 3, 1, 3, 2, 3, 1, 3, 2, 0, 2, 3, 0. Okay, that's what you're after there. Again, that was pretty fast, right? I was struggling in a couple of spots to make it successful, and so you should feel really comfortable slowing it way down until you get a nice smooth thing going through the whole piece. Be mindful when you're listening to the MP3 to watch the sheet music, not just the tablature, but the actual standard notation, so that you can see where your quarter notes are showing up and where your eighth notes are showing up. They're definitely mixed in a pretty reliable way through the whole song. But it's if you just reading the tablature, you're going to tend to turn everything into an eighth note, and that's not what's going on there. So just be mindful that your eyeballs should be tracking both the standard notation and the tablature. Okay, getting ready for Tough Uke. You guys up for it? I hope so. We're going to go quite a bit slower. Kari sent me some inference on one of the majors. She came up with a different type of fingering that made more sense to her. I think it was major 6 that she was working on. Instead of having, was it 6, Kari? I can't remember. When you are messing around with Tough Uke and you find, hey, I'm supposed to have my chord here, and then I'm supposed to either drop down and hit melody notes here or something, sometimes you can find those melody notes up higher on a lower pitched string, and sometimes that helps, and sometimes it makes it more complicated. And so you have to start thinking about, all right, every time there's no reason to change the fingering unless you're fighting it. And if you are fighting it, then go through and take a look at what your other possible options are. Again, this is for those of you who've been around a little bit longer. If you're trying to find, for whatever reason, you're looking for this note, but you want it further up the fretboard, you drop 2, the next string down, and go find that note. Okay, so in this case, a 3 on 1 is the same as 8 on 2. Okay, and sometimes that C note is more convenient than this C note. Okay? I wouldn't say it's all of the time until you get to fairly advanced music that you'll be doing that, but I would say it is a place, it's a problem-solving choice when you are consistently missing something and you're playing Tough Uke and you're like, all right, I'm really fighting jumping down to the end of the fretboard or jumping way up to the top of the fretboard. What can I do with my overall hand shape and my overall fingering to simplify that or to change that? That B flat chord, I'm getting lots of funky sounds for now. Come on, index finger. I'll put the question out there. Anybody else struggle with B flat at all? I don't know. I don't know if that's come up for any of you. Joyce is fighting it. Everybody fights B flat. Everybody. If you don't fight B flat, we don't like you. B flat is definitely one of the tougher challenges early on in your ukulele career, and I would say it continues just to continue to be a bit of a befuddlement. All of our bar chords. You do want to get good at bar chords, and so these discussions I see on the internet about how to avoid them is it's sad, really. You're going to fight them, and you're going to have to get through them, and you are going to get better at them. And one day you're going to have them, and then you're going to be able to play everything. And well, frankly, the way I'm teaching you, you're going to be able to play everything anyway. But sometimes bar chords are going to be part of the everything, and you're going to be able to do that too. All right, Bonnie. Oh yes, it sounds great. And other times it's way off. Yeah, yeah, it's getting better though. Just so you know, Carmen, who was in my very first ukulele class, fought B flat for 3 years, and then one day she stopped having a problem with it. But I think she was exceptional in that regard. Boy, she just really fought back with her very hard, but she eventually did master it. So I think 3 years is probably the outer limit to how long it's going to take. And most of you get in with a couple weeks worth of practice. You can get that B flat under control, and but it's not going to ever be perfect. Okay, let's go in and do the tough uke. Let's talk about those chords. If you don't know G minor, I want you to learn it. Index finger, middle finger, ring finger. The reason I want you to learn it is this. Isn't that gorgeous? That is a gorgeous chord. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-da-da-da-bum. I mean, what an awesome chord progression. Just think about that. If you're at home and you're a musician and you're taking a couple days ago, I had a little talk with you about becoming a composer, and you had A chord. Think about putting a song together. Bob just wrote a virus song. These are the 4 chords you need, right? Ba-dum, dum, ba-dum, dum, bum, ba-da-da-da-dum. I'm stuck in the house right now because there's bugs all around the neighborhood. Yeah, that's the chord you need, right? So you've got that G minor, gorgeous. Next chord, D minor, index finger on 2. To make your D minor, just put an F chord on and add your ring finger. That's another beautiful chord on the ukulele. Okay. Then C minor, I always just do all 3. You can put 3 fingers there if you want. I just do a partial bar. Okay. And then your D chord. Okay. And notice D chord needs to resolve to G minor. So that D chord wants to get to a G minor. That's why that progression works that way. Those are your 4 chords in there. Down at measure 13, get a little bit of a different feeling to it. And creates a whole bunch of urgency inside of this G minor. Okay, so that G7 is going to create a bunch of tension right before the end of the song that we're going to resolve with C minor and G. And then the turnaround on this is B flat. Okay, and what's funny about this arrangement, because it's not complete and there's supposed to be more that comes in part 4, the B flat there is not typically how we would end a song. It's in G minor, we're going along, we're super happy, we're in 2 flats, everything's great, and then we end on the major chord, the B flat, which is the buddy of G minor, and really the purpose of that B flat there is to kick you up into the part 4, and you guys will be getting part 4 probably first thing in the morning, and so that's what the B flat's doing there. We like the song to end on the chord that it started with, but in this case, it's getting you ready for the next part of it. All right. Lindy loves grr. All right, here we go. Nice and slow, really slow, guys. Give yourself an opportunity. 1, 2, 3. 3 D minor, strum 2, C minor, strum 3, 1, 3. This is a D chord, bar here, pinky on 5, and strum it. Strum 5, 3, 1, oh. You're going to go 6, 6, 7. It's a partial B flat looking thing like that. Strum 8, 6, 5, 3, and you got a 5, 6, and 7. So that's just an E minor shape on 5. It's beautiful, right? 6, 5, 3, 1, C minor. Strum 5, 3, 1, 3, and then a regular D7. 5, 3, 1, oh. Measure 9. We're back to G minor. Oh, 3, D minor. Strum 2, 2, C minor. Strum 3, oh, 1, 3. D chord. Strum with the pinky. 5, 3, 2, oh. G7. Strum 3, 1, 3, 2. Strum 0, 3. Sorry, guys. 1, 3, 2, oh, 0, 2. 3, oh, B flat. Okay, I'm going to play straight through from top to bottom and see how you do. I want to play it even slower than we just did. That felt a tiny bit fast to me for sight reading and for being new to this. So I'm playing the whole thing thumb down, but those of you who are next level players, be thinking about the claw, okay? It's going to sound great and on a piece like this is really clawing your way through the whole thing. The other thing, notice down toward the bottom, 12, 13, 14, 15, the chords get real thin, right? Because the melody has dropped very low in tone, and so the chords start to get a little thin. So you want to think about that as you're coming around that bend, rather than getting a real powerful ending to it. We're going to get kind of a nice mellowing ending to it. Dun, 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 dun. And then we can hit that big B flat, and then kick us back up to the top. Okay, so we're going to play it one time through, top to bottom, and see how you do. Okay, skip 16 when we get to the end. 1, 2, 3. That's a good song. That's a good song right there. That would be worth your time working on that. Hey, guys, it's lovely. I hope things are going well for you. Remember, if you want to subscribe down here, then you don't have to go through the Jolly Roger website to find it here. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you think. Don't thumbs down me. That's rude. Sometimes I'll see videos and they'll have 100 million thumbs up and 4 people have thumbs down it. And you're like, what are those 4 people doing? Just being rude. Whatever. Pick whatever you want. Chat box there. Hope you're having a great day today. Hope things are going well. I hope you're staying outside. Here in Denver, it's 25, 22 degrees out there. I didn't go out at all. I haven't even put on shoes today. So, yeah, it's a good day to stay inside and work on Bach, right? It's not Bach, it's Petzold, but we'll call it Bach because it's more fun. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Thanks for being here. Again, email me if you have any questions. Sometimes it's not. Let's see. It's getting better. I love it. Thanks again. Yep, Bruce, no problem. I love it that you keep coming in. Alex, glad to see you again. Thanks for being here. Leslie, take care. See you tomorrow. Yep, tomorrow we wrap it up. Thanks. Hi, Patty. Thanks. You're welcome. Bob, great fun to play. Thanks, Gary. Can't wait for the next part. Bob, write that pandemic musical. That's what we're waiting on from you. Way to go, Linda. Thank you very much. So much fun. Aloha Talent Oregon. Oregon. Nice. Manette, have a wonderful day. Ciao, Red. No shoes. Don't take it seriously, Cindy. You know I'm wearing shoes. Laura, I'll see you tomorrow. Lindy, love this. Thank you. I love that you're here every day. Thanks. Melody, have a great day. Renee, wonderful. Thank you for being here. Linda, Jerry, Kathy, Jackie, Sue, Lanny, gotta see you face to face one of these days. All right, Kari, Cindy, guys, have a wonderful day. Appreciate it. Ending the stream, heading off to DenverGuitarOrchestra.com to teach those guys some guitar. Come join us if you want. Have a great day.